5 money habits that will keep you poor.
You know what's crazy? Most people work their entire lives and still end up broke. Not because they don't make enough money, but because 5 hidden spending habits quietly drain their bank accounts every single month. I'm talking about habits so ordinary you probably don't even realize you're doing them right now. What shocked me when I started digging into this is that someone making $40,000 a year can retire wealthier than someone making $150,000, and it all comes down to these 5 habits. Stick with me because what I'm about to reveal will fundamentally change the way you think about money, and honestly, it might make you a little uncomfortable, but that discomfort, that's exactly where the breakthrough happens. Number 1. The trap of I'll save whatever's left. Let me ask you something. Do you pay yourself first or do you pay everyone else first? Here's what most people do. They get their paycheck, pay rent, buy groceries, grab coffee, order takeout a few times, maybe hit happy hour on Friday night, and then if there's anything left, they think about saving. Sounds logical, right? Wrong. This is the number 1 habit that keeps people broke, and here's why it's so destructive. When you save whatever's left, you're basically telling your brain that you are the least important person in your financial life. Your landlord gets paid first, Netflix gets paid, that random subscription you forgot about gets paid, but you only get the scraps. Here's the reality. A Federal Reserve study found that 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense, not because they don't earn enough money, but because they've never prioritized themselves in their budget. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 2 people, Sarah and Mike. Both earn $50,000 a year. Sarah pays herself first. She automatically transfers 15% into savings the moment her paycheck hits. That's $625 a month she never even sees in her checking account. Mike, on the other hand, uses the whatever's left method. Some months he saves $200, some months nothing, averaging about $150 a month. Fast forward 10 years, Sarah has saved $94,000 with modest interest. Mike, about $22,000. Same income, completely different outcome. The psychology here is simple. Money expands to fill the space you give it. If you've got $3,000 in your account, you'll find a way to spend $3,000. If you've only got $2,400 because you paid yourself $600 first, you'll adapt and spend $2,400. Your brain is incredibly resourceful when it has to be, but you have to create that necessity yourself. And hold on, because it gets even more interesting from here. Number 2. Buying stuff just because it's on sale. Oh, this one's different. Let me tell you something. Retailers are absolute masters of psychological warfare, and their favorite weapon is that tiny red sale tag. Here's the funny part. We'll drive across town to save $5 on groceries, but spend $3 on gas just to feel like we're winning. Meanwhile, we're losing the real battle. The trap here is simple. You didn't save $50 when you bought those shoes on sale. You spent $100. But our brains don't process it that way. We get a dopamine hit from the deal that feels just like the thrill of actually saving money. The difference is one builds wealth, the other destroys it. Let me give you a real example. My friend Jessica, smart woman, very sharp, told me last month she saved $200 by shopping sales. I asked to see her credit card statement. Turns out she spent $600 on things she never planned to buy. Because the original price was $800, she felt like a financial genius. Here's the harsh truth. If you buy something you never intended to buy, discount or not, you didn't save money. You spent money you could have saved. In behavioral economics, there's a term for this, transactional utility. It's the pleasure we get from feeling like we scored a deal, completely separate from whether we actually needed the item, and companies exploit this relentlessly. Think about Black Friday. People camp outside stores, trample each other for a TV that's 40% off, paid for with a credit card charging 24% interest. Do the math on how much that savings really costs. The wealthy do it differently. They buy what they need when they need it at the best price available, without riding the emotional roller coaster of chasing discounts. They understand the best sale is the one you skip because you didn't need the item in the first place. And trust me, the next habit is even harder to spot. Number 3. The lifestyle inflation spiral. This is the silent wealth killer nobody talks about. You get a raise, and suddenly your lifestyle needs to match your new income. New car, better apartment, fancier restaurants, premium coffee instead of brewing it at home. Let me be blunt. Lifestyle inflation is why people making $200,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck, just like people making $50,000. Here's how it happens. You're earning $60,000, living in a $1,200 apartment, driving a 2015 Honda. Life's tight but manageable. Then promotion. Now you're making $75,000. That's an extra $15,000 a year, $1,250 a month. And your brain immediately thinks, I deserve this. I've worked hard. Time to upgrade. Within 6 months, you've moved into an $1,800 apartment, only $600 more, and look at this kitchen. Leased a new car, $450 a month, but it's reliable, and somehow tripled your dining budget because now you can afford it. Surprise? You're saving less than before the raise. How is that even possible? Here's the shocking stat. A National Bureau of Economic Research study found that for every $1 increase in income, the average American increases spending by 90 cents. That means only 10 cents of every extra dollar actually improves your financial situation. Here's what changed my perspective completely. I met a millionaire driving a 12-year-old Toyota. Not because he couldn't afford better, his net worth was over $3 million. When I asked him why, he said something that floored me. Every dollar I don't spend trying to impress people who don't care about me is a dollar working for me 24/7 through investments. My car gets me from point A to point B. My portfolio gets me to financial freedom. That's the mindset shift. The wealthy increase income but keep spending steady, creating a widening gap they invest. The poor increase income and immediately increase spending, keeping that gap at zero. And here's the wildest part. When you resist lifestyle inflation, you don't even feel deprived because you never got addicted to upgrading in the first place. But here's where things might get uncomfortable. Before we continue, quick favor. If this is hitting home and you're finding it useful, please smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm push this video to more people who need to hear it. And subscribe to Cerebro Wealth if you haven't already, because we're building a community of people ready to break free from poverty and build real wealth. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next video. Trust me, what's coming next is even more powerful. Now, let's get back to habit number 4. Number 4, trying to keep up with people who are broke too. This one's tough to admit, but let's be real. You're trying to keep up with people who are secretly drowning in debt. Social media has turned this into a full-blown epidemic. Your friend posts photos from Bali. You don't see the $8,000 credit card debt funding that trip. Your coworker shows off a new BMW. You don't see the 72-month loan at 7% interest. Your cousin's wedding looks like a fairy tale. You don't see the $45,000 bill they'll spend 5 years paying off. We keep comparing our everyday reality to other people's highlight reels, and it's bankrupting us. Here's what blew my mind. A study from the University of California found that people are more likely to go into debt to maintain a social image than to handle an actual emergency. Read that again. We'd rather be broke than let our friends think we're broke. Let me give you a perfect example of this madness. I know a guy, let's call him Brandon, who spent $300 on bottle service at a club just because his friends invited him. His rent was overdue, his car insurance had lapsed, but he couldn't let his buddies think he was struggling. The result? Late fees, overdraft charges, and stress that probably shaved years off his life. And here's the kicker. The 2 friends he was trying to impress later admitted they were broke too, and only went because they thought he wanted to go. Here's the harsh truth. Most people are faking it. The average American carries $38,000 in personal debt, not including mortgages. And that wealthy lifestyle you're trying to copy? Chances are it's funded at 24% interest. The wealthy don't care about looking rich. They care about being rich, and that's a massive difference. Which brings us to the final habit, the one that might be the most controversial of all. Number 5, believing I deserve it. All right, some of you might not like this part, but stick with me because it's really important. The phrase treat yourself has become a financial excuse for bad decisions. Bad day at work, you deserve a $200 shopping spree. Stressful week, you deserve a weekend getaway. Monday morning, you deserve that $8 latte. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't deserve everything just because you exist or had a tough day. You only deserve it if you can afford it without sabotaging your financial future. I know that sounds harsh in our participation trophy culture, but let me explain why this mindset is so dangerous. When you use I deserve it to justify spending, you're making emotional money decisions, and emotional decisions are almost always bad ones. You're letting feelings override financial reality. Psychologists call this emotional spending or retail therapy. Studies show it gives you about 3 minutes of happiness, followed by hours or days of regret and financial stress. You're trading long-term security for a 3-minute dopamine hit. Let me reframe this. Do you know what you actually deserve? You deserve financial peace of mind. You deserve to sleep at night without worrying about bills. You deserve a dignified retirement. You deserve not to panic when your car breaks down. You deserve freedom. And every time you treat yourself to something you can't afford, you're stealing from your future self, the one who truly deserves financial security. What changed everything for me was asking, will my future self thank me for this decision? If the answer is no, I don't buy it. That $6 coffee every day, over a year, that's $2,190. Invested at 8% for 30 years, that's $24,671. So the real question isn't, do I deserve this coffee? It's, do I deserve to lose $25,000 in retirement? Listen, I'm not saying never enjoy anything. I'm saying be intentional. Plan for fun, schedule experiences, but don't use I deserve it as a blank check your future self has to cash with interest.
All right, let's wrap this up. We've covered the 5 spending habits that quietly keep you broke, saving only what's left, treating yourself as the least important expense, falling for the sale trap, confusing spending with saving, lifestyle inflation, upgrading your life every time your income goes up, competing with people who are actually broke themselves, and using I deserve it to justify emotional spending that destroys your future. My question for you is, which of these habits hits you the hardest? Which one are you guilty of right now? Drop a comment and be honest. I'm not here to judge. We're here to learn together. And here's the real challenge. Which habit will you cut out this week? Pick one, just one. Comment below. I will stop blank. Accountability matters, and this community is here to back you up. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Cerebro Wealth because we're just getting started on this journey to building real wealth together. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you don't miss the next video. Speaking of mindset shifts, here's something incredible. While we've been talking about the reasons people stay poor, the wealthy have a completely different way of thinking about money that most of us never learn. In the next video, I'll reveal the wealth mindset, how the rich view money differently. And once you understand these mental frameworks, everything changes. The difference isn't about working harder, it's about thinking differently. You definitely don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and remember, financial freedom isn't about making more, it's about keeping more. See you in the next video.